ॐ ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः ओं गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः ओम सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः ॐ निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रवः संयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यान्श्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम् समस्तदेवताभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो नमः श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराण आचार्येभ्यो नमः परब्रह्मणे महाविष्णवे ब्रह्मणे सनकादिमुनिभ्यो नारदाय वेदव्यासाय शुकब्रह्मर्षये सूतमहामुने शौनकादिऋषिभ्यो अत्र्यादिऋषिभ्यो वैशम्पायनादिऋषिभ्यो प्रह्लादादिभक्तजनेभ्यो आदित्यादिनवग्रहदेवताभ्यो मत्स्यादेवतारेभ्यो नमः श्री दक्षिणामूर्ति दत्तात्रेय हयग्रीवादिगुरुभ्यो नमः ओम श्री दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वती स्वरूपिण्ये नमः ओम श्री आदिशंकरादिगुरुभ्यो नमः माता पितृदेवताभ्यो नमः अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः ओम श्री कृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादश स्कन्धः मुक्तिर्हित्वा अन्यथा रूपम स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः ओम अथ एकोनविंशोऽध्यायः श्रीभगवानुवाच To say precisely what we get as Sukha Dukha are the final products or the outputs of which or on which we have no right or authority to directly demand or command. Those Sukha Dukha entirely depend on our own performance and our action or performance also not independent. It depends on our own understandings and convictions. At this present moment, when we are under the influence of wrong understandings and wrong convictions, our performance always will be not in a right manner, it will be a wrong manner. Definitely, it gives that dukkha only more and more. If at all we want to seriously, sincerely understand the problem and issue along with solution, it should be understood that only when we change our understandings from wrong to the right, that the actions and results also will become wrong to the right. First of all, we have not inquired only what is real and what is unreal. Of no aspect, whether the seen world or the Indriyamana Buddhi which are seeing them, or the individuality, none of them we have analyzed or understood or assessed. And we keep on doing something or the other in anticipation of some result. What Shastras do is they correct us at the primary basic root level. What do they do is they give correct understanding. They give the right understanding. They tell us the self is real, it is eternal. You identify with it. Other than that, everything is imaginary, illusory. If you run behind that, you will be bound only. That's the first understanding. Then they talk about you are in this world as human. Now these are the rights, these are the duties. Rights are not in your hands, but duties are in your hands. Just keep performing. So in this way, at every aspect, when we correct ourselves in our understanding and backed by that understanding when we perform, the outer simple small little successes also will come. Inside also our mind intellect will not have those wounds and pains and will never be away apart from our own independent inner happiness or shanti. The, why do we have to talk this in the introduction is why are we studying everyday shastras morning and evening? Are they giving us money? Are they giving us any extra facilities gross outside? Shastras are not for that. Shastras are only to give us correct understanding, and the whole life depends on them. Change our understandings and attitudes, relativities, dealings with the world. There you are beautiful. Yeah. Om अथ एकोनविंशोऽध्यायः श्रीभगवानुवाच. Let us chant the mantra 27. Okay. This one 25. यदात्मनि अर्पितं चित्तं शान्तं सत्त्वोपबृंहितं धर्मं ज्ञानं सवैराग्यम् ऐश्वर्यं चाभिपद्यते यदर्पितं तद्विकल्पे इन्द्रियैः परिधावते रजस्वलं चासन्निष्ठं चित्तं विद्धि विपर्ययम् धर्मो मद्भक्तिकृत् प्रोक्तः ज्ञानं चैकात्म्यदर्शनं गुणेषु असङ्गो वैराग्यम् ऐश्वर्यं च अणिमादयः. उद्धव उवाच यमः कतिविधः प्रोक्तः नियमो वा अरिकर्षण कः शमः को दमः कृष्ण का तितिक्षा धृतिः प्रभो किं दानं किं तपः शौर्यं किं सत्यं ऋतम् उच्यते कस्त्यागः किं धनं चेष्टं को यज्ञः का च दक्षिणा पुंसः किं स्विद्बलं श्रीमन् भगो लाभश्च केशवा का विद्या हरिः परा का श्रीः किं सुखं दुःखमेव च कः पण्डितः कश्च मूर्खः कः पन्था उत्पथश्च कः कः स्वर्गो नरकः कस्वित् को बन्धुरुत किं गृहम् काड्यः को दरिद्रो वा कृपणः कः क ईश्वरः एतान् प्रश्नान् मम ब्रूहि विपरीतांश्च सत्पथे. श्रीभगवानुवाच अहिंसा सत्यमस्तेयम् असङ्गो हरिरसंशयः आस्तिक्यं ब्रह्मचर्यं च मौनमस्थैर्यं क्षमा अवयम् शौचं जपस्तपो होमः श्रद्धातिथ्यं मदर्चनं तीर्थाटनं परार्थेह तुष्टिराचार्यसेवनम् एते यमाः सनियमाः उभयोर्द्वादश स्मृताः पुंसामुपासितास्तात यथा कामं दुहन्ति हि शमो मन्निष्ठता बुद्धेर्दम इन्द्रियसंयमः तितिक्षा दुःखसम्मर्षः जिह्वोपस्थजयोद्धृतिः दण्डन्यासः परं दानं कामत्यागः स्तवः स्मृतं स्वभावविजयः शौर्यं सत्यं च समदर्शनम् ऋतं च सूनृता वाणी कविभिः परिकीर्तिता कर्मसु असङ्गमः शौचं त्यागः सन्न्यास उच्यते धर्म इष्टं धनं नॄणां यज्ञोऽहं भगवत्तमः दक्षिणाज्ञानसन्देशः प्राणायामः परं बलं भगोम ऐश्वरो भावः लाभो मद्भक्तिरुत्तमः विद्यात्मनि विधाभादः जुगुप्सा ह्रीरकर्मसो श्रीर्गुणानैरपेक्ष्याद्याः सुखं दुःखसुखात्ययः दुःखं कामसुखापेक्षा पंडितो बन्धमोक्षविद मूर्खो देहादि अहं बुद्धिः अन्तामन्निगमः स्मृतः उत्पथश्चित्तविक्षेपः स्वर्गः सत्त्वगुणोदयः नरकस्तम उन्नाहः बन्धुर्गुरुरहं सखे गृहं शरीरं मानुष्यं गुणाढ्यो हि आढ्य उच्यते दरिद्रो यस्त्वसन्तुष्टः कृपणो यो अजितेन्द्रियः गुणेषु असक्तधीरीशः गुणसङ्गो विपर्ययः एत उद्धवते प्रश्नाः सर्वे साधु निरूपिताः किं वर्णितेन बहुना लक्षणं गुणदोषयोः गुणदोषदृशिर्दोषः गुणस्तु भयवर्जितः गुणदोषदृशिर्दोषः गुणस्तु भयवर्जितः इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायाम् एकादशस्कन्धे विंशोऽध्यायः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम श्री कृष्ण शरणं मम, श्री भागवत शरणं मम, श्री सद्गुरु शरणं मम, श्री सूत शरणं मम, श्री शुकदेव शरणं मम, श्री व्यास शरणं मम, श्री नारद शरणं मम, श्री कुमार शरणं मम, श्री ब्रह्मा शरणं मम, श्री विष्णु शरणं मम, श्री परब्रह्म शरणं मम, श्री कृष्ण शरणं मम शरणं मम। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। ओम मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं। स्वर्गे सत्ये च कैलासे वैकुण्ठे नास्त्यमरसः अथपि बन्धु सद्भाग्याः मामुञ्चितगर्हित। ओं नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओं श्रीकृष्णपरब्रह्मणे नमः। ओं श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणमेकादशस्कन्धः मुक्तिरित्वान्यथारूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थिति अथ एकोनविंशोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच। And saluted the Lord and the Guru Parampara in continuation of what we spoke in our introduction 10 minutes back. When the Shastras change our understandings and convictions and attitudes, do they do by themselves? No, because they are only jada. They are only pustaka, they are only the vakyas or the shabdas. So Shastras directly don't change, but with the help of the Shastra, we have to change. Now it has its own process, it has its own steps, and those steps have to be deliberately, consciously followed. Always remember, see, if you don't eat 1, 2, 3 days, we will become weak and die. Sort of, if we don't work regularly in different our fields, we don't get salary, we become poverty. If we are not in touch with the people with mutual help, we will be left alone. Is it not? All these are the Vyavahara compulsions for our Vyavaharic life to smoothly, systematically happen. In the same way, the spiritual transformations are possible only like the Vyavahara when we relentlessly put our efforts. The outer grosser manifestations or the objects or relations, people, with some attempt they come to us and they stay for some time. Spiritual things are not like that. They're so volatile, that they're so delicate. In fact, they're like writing on a sky, writing on a moving water or moving canvas. In a sense, unless we repeatedly visit to those particular topics, the registration of the presence of such things alone will not happen. It's only after registering them by name that we understand what is the meaning of them. Then only we will know why and how great and important they are. And then only we'll be able to transform our personality according to those new understandings. For example, unless like the question and answer session we are going to see out sometime, unless these questions are repeatedly studied, we will not know that there are such questions to be answered or of which the answer has to be known. Then only answer. Then both question and answer thoroughly for some months unless we involve in. We don't understand what the Lord is wanting us to get transformed spiritually. So it always should be there in the mind. Okay, I am Adhyatmika Sadhaka. In my Adhyatmik Sadhana, at Vyavahara level, these are the things not to be done, these are the things to be done. At the Deha Indriya Mana Buddhi level, these are things not to be done, these are to be done continuously. like diabetic and BP patients, continuously aware of what to eat, not to eat. Pakka, then only they can long life live healthily. So to spiritual health is a 24 hours attention. What happening through us outside, what is entering into us from the outside world, we have to be very careful about it. And to develop that alertness, we have to pay the price of consistency, our interest. Now, for example, Kashamaha ko Tyagaha, Bhagavan will explain here. But if I don't remember that this is Shama, this is Tyaga, this have to be done, then how will I change my work and attitude? Few of the notions we have to remove. That because of doing some Japadi Upasana, because of listening little of the Bhagavata, we are not going to get totally changed or transformed. Never happened to anyone. Whoever have taken this alone as business, this alone as a main occupation or the duty, and have fully entered into it till it entered into them, they alone got the benefit out of these things. Shamadamadi. How many our years you study them? But unless we involve into that, "Ki, this is the definition of Shama, this is what I have to conduct, this is what I have to master. Don't we, if we don't do that, Shamadamadi become theoretical, spirituality become theoretical, we continue to be a Pakka Samsara. That's the basic qualification level itself. If we don't evolve, then how can we evolve in terms of our higher understandings and our, according to the new understanding, changing the definitions of I and mine or the world? That changing the definitions about me, the world, is called spiritual evolution, no? Earlier, I defined the world as real, the giver of sukha. I say it is unreal. If you hold on to that, it will only bind you. That's a new definition. Total constitution of a living should change if we want to get transformed into spiritual life and take out its benefits, yield its benefits. The definition of me, a relative person, a content of the world, who is always in competition with others, who is always in want of the things. This is a wrong definition. The right definition of something beyond all of that have in fact support and substratum. If these definitions don't change, transformation has not happened. So we really have not grown spiritually. Therefore, accept this fact and work out slowly according to your own capacity. In a simple layman's language, I have to transform from within also. I have to change my attitude and activities outside. Then only I am spiritual. First is main point ko pakad ke rakhna. Then one by one, we have to change it. It will take few lives. It will take, but you have to apply. And in every life, we are doing little only. It's not the first time I am talking to you. In another form, or somebody else must have talked to you, might have talked to you earlier to push you to a little extent. So it is not first time that I am at the feet of Gurudev. Gurudev himself or some other masters must have pushed me a little. And this is not the last time also that we need to be trained or taught and we get trained or taught. It will continue. Understand? So, in this effort of it, when we become conscious that somebody is helping and I have to put effort, and when we intensify that, growth will become faster. Understandably, it's so simple, no? When you listen and leave, how much is the difference happen in us? But when you do the second time study at home, when you deeply contemplate on that, when you write your own notes, when you actually apply or practice, there are differences, no? What level we are able to do, to that level we are changing, we are getting the benefits. So this is how spirituality is a lifelong continuous effort and process. Continuous. You cannot leave ourselves or our attitude or our activities, our involvements uncared even for a fraction of moment also. Even dream we must be aware why those dreams came. What I have done in the waking plane. So how to change? इतना हमको aware करना. Even sleep. Why excessive sleep or why less sleep or what is correct sleep? We should know a correct sleep is that after which you are so 100% fresh again to continuously work for next 18 hours. That's got a good sound sleep. Everything should be in our command. Spirituality is with understanding, commanding every aspect of our life for the evolution. Having said so, we are in Bhagavatam, Ekadasha Skandham. In this, Bhagavan Krishna and Uddhava Samvada, Uddhavaji asked about, tell me Jnana, tell me Bhakti. So Bhagavan explained Jnanam, Bhagavan also almost concluded Bhakti. Then now he will ask about what is Shama, Yama, Niyama, Ityadi. So before that, the last 3-4 slokas being so important. Yesterday, day before, these 3 days we were deeply trying to analyze, in fact, dissect every word, totally scrutinize every word and sentence you are trying to understand. There yesterday, he will do only these three. 25, 26, 27. Yada means when you have achieved this one. What is that? Atmani arpitam chittam. The chitta offered to the Lord Paramatma. Shantam. Consequently found to be absolutely shanta. Sattva upabrahmitam. In which the sattva guna of knowing the truth as it is. Knowing sattva guna of knowing the truth as it is in full glow and flow. What are the effects of three gunas? Sattva guna gives clear picture of what is truth or reality. Rajaguna distorts it, tampers the information. Tamaguna hides or conceals. Is it not? So when the Sattva Guna Upabrahmanam is there, Sattva Upabrahmitam, we are absolutely clear about the position of ourselves, the world, and the Lord. That's a consequence of the absolute quiet mind. That mind which is never disturbed from within because of lack of vasanas, not disturbed from outside because no desires for any objects, value for any objects. How do you do that? So many sadhanas, so many yogas will be told, I have told, again Uddhava will ask, but one beautiful common sadhana, or simple sadhana, or single sadhana, one when it is done, all this achieved is yada atmani arpitam chitta. In the language of Vedanta, atmani arpitam chittam is always contemplating on the source of everything called as the self. Other than that, it is not contemplating on anything else. And it already understood by the study of Upanishads like Mandukya, anything other than the self is illusory, imaginary, projection, unreal, insistence. This is one meaning of Atmanyarpidam Chittam. Then Shantam Sattva Brahmitam. In devotion language, in that Chitta, the other three components called Manabuddhi Ahankara are consciously when they are Arpita to the Lord. What is Arpita to the Lord is Guna Sakara. It is Krishna, whoever the God you choose. Whatever the activities that the mind does, it does it only regarding or related to Bhagavan. Whatever the activity Chitta is able to do or Buddhi is able to do, it is doing only around the Lord. And whatever the aham feeling is there, that is only always at the feet of the Lord with dasam. When these are done up, chittam atmani arpitam or paramatmani arpitam. That means what? This is possible and this is to be done, and when we do, the Lord's grace is there on that, on us. And that is what ought to be done. Underline this word. Yahi humko karna hai. Other than this, there's no liberation from the world because the bondage in the world like is getting frightened by seeing the snake or getting tempted by seeing the silver. We have to be very strong in these understandings. Getting frightened by seeing the snake is there's no snake at all. What is there is only the rope. We have the dvesha, krodha in the world. That is, we have seen the snake in the world or in the Lord. So to getting tempted by the silver means there's no silver at all. What is there is only shell. So there is nothing to be coveted or getting attracted to or getting sought in this world. Like the silver, because of no silver, what is there is shell. So too, there is nothing called as a real in the world. Underline this word. There is nothing called as a real in the world which can give us a real happiness and long happiness. Real happiness ही नहीं दे रहा है तो long lasting कहाँ देगा? Then all our involvement and the length of involvement depends only on our insistence about the world being real, though it is not so. Like you watch as a TV serial. At one level, you can decide not to see even one episode. In another level, you start sitting for only 5 minutes. Another level, 10 minutes. Another level, whole serial you do. Another one, you get the entire episodes of 3000 and keep on watching. So, how much that is influencing us or entertaining us only depends on how much importance you give to it. So simple, any example for that matter? Yadatmani arpitam chittam has got these details. Okay? Yadatmani arpitam chittam shantam sattva brahmitam. Then these are the four things such sadhaka experiences in him. Dharmam, jnanam, savairagyam, aishwaryam cha avipadyate. He gets established in the dharma. He gets established in the jnana. He gets established in the aishwarya along with vairagya. It's a peculiar thing. Aishwarya yukta vairagya. Sorry, vairagya yukta aishwarya. Where that aishwarya is expressed for the help of society, totality, not for him, the individuality, because that individuality is already dissolved in the earlier two things called as dharma and jnana. These are the four things he will experience in him. If to the Atma in the Saguna or Nirguna, the Chitta is not Arpita, then if it is Arpita to the Vikalpa, that is to the Dvaita. What is the meaning of Chitta Arpita to the Dvaita? As we said just now, if the world is taken as real. And every worldly object or person, his greatness is taken as real. Then toward that some liking or desire is born, and to fulfill that liking or desire, doing something. This is called as chitta arpita to the vikalpa. In general, we do that too. Many a times, we are always throughout the day involved in that. That's what he says. Yet arpitam tat vikalpe. If that chitta is arpita to the vikalpa, for the modifications, for the manyness, for the multitude, for the duality, for the world. What will happen? Indriyahi paridhavati. Instead of shantaha, it is indriyahi paridhavati. Is it not? You want to drink the water, then you look for the bottle or tumbler or something. The instrument is required. In the same way, when you want Vishayas of the world, immediately we become aware of the need of the Indriyas. And we are behind Indriya only. विकल्प में वैल्यू दिया, इंद्रियों को पकड़कर तादात्म्य करना ही पड़ेगा. सो इंद्रिय ही परिधावती. देन रजस्वलम च असत निष्ठ. Always when the indriyas are running, they are in rajoguna only, not in shanta sattva guna. So to cha asad nishtam. This is the underlining word. As to we not explained it much, that's why we are saying it here. Then our nishtha will be in the asat only. Nishtha is a powerful tool, but towards what we have Nishtha makes that powerful tool to be useful or destructive. The Asar Nishtam is the dictatorship. Dictators are Nishtha Yukta, but Asat. You know that Ukraine or Russia में Asar Nishtha, Nishtha है. From all directions, day by day, systematic plan करके सारे सोल्जर टैंकर तैनात करके आर्मी ऑफिसर अवार्ड देख आवाज देखते हुए by giving the order to them, he is pushing this sign into all the direction. It's not big nishtha, but asal nishtha, because the consequences will be very terrible for centuries together. Because not even one Ukrainian will forget that this is Russia has done. One means at least those who are patriotic for their nation. So they will teach it to their children. It goes into the history. They'll have that anger, retaliation. like you and I. Though keep quiet, but in all the time our hearts are burning all the time. Whenever the occasion comes, toward all these Mughals, to all these Britishers who have attacked our nation and troubled. They have troubled all our mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, all of them. So, jal raha hai. Mauka mila to we take action only. It is always there. In the same way, the consequence would be very long lasting. So, it's a nishtha, but asan. After seeing that example, in our own life, every thought, action of ours, if it is toward the world, it is asanishta because world is asat. Every thought and action of ours is towards the Lord, then it is sannishta because Lord alone is sadvas. Asadnishta means taking asat as sat. How do you? That's what we are doing. If you don't utilize your intellect's capacity to deeply contemplate with the help of Upanishad Granthas, we take the non existing as real. Existing and real, then our निष्ठा is on that. हम है ना वो stubborn बन जाते हैं, जिद्दी बन जाते हैं regarding the asat only. See, on such a level we are fallen to. Rishis, Guru, Shastra say, Beta, there is no world, there is no Sukha in the world. It is only in the Atma. Oh, we don't listen to you. Beta, Dendriyadiyat Drishya, you are the Drashta. Aha, I am that. देखो कितना असर निष्ठा हुआ है. Then all the scriptures, all the literature, all the gurus put together also are not able to change our nishtha. Why it happened? That's what, no. When our chitta is offered to the vikalpa, it pulls us to this down level of nishtha in the asat. All the Rakshasas, all the Ravana, the asal निष्ठा में. अरे सत को पकड़ो, यही सत्य बोलते हो लोग. Feel the meaning of this word. Asal निष्ठा we have. And it's so deeply nishtita are rooted that we are not able to reach to the root level and eliminate. And such things, the asad nishtas, can be permanently eliminated only when we uproot them, when we remove them from the root level. Else, again and again, they will relapse. And how do you uproot them at the root level? Only by simple opposite thing. Simple in terms of understanding, not practice. What is that? Is asad nishtha, have sannishta. Bas, that's it. सत निष्ठा से ही असत निष्ठा जाएगा, तभी जाकर परमानेंटली वी आर लिबरेटेड. So one or two things we have to very carefully mind in our life is, just because the entire people of the world are materialistic, not necessarily that they are right and we should follow them. Be conscious. Just because people say that the world is real, there is Sukha Bhoga in that, we can pause, we not think about it. We not immediately accept on the face value. We must use our own discretion, our own sharpened intellect to consult the higher experts. They take time, give time. With all patience, they explain what exactly happening, where it is exactly happening, how is it happening, is that happening is harmful or useful, is it binding or liberating? If binding, what is the liberating one? They put to us in a clear picture. Consult those experts. Use your own intellect, consult them, come to your own conclusions. And whoever that way have gone against the flow of world and worldliness, alone have excelled in their spirituality to reach the highest. And then they become the beacon lights as well as torches as well as the trendsetters or the guide to the others. Others follow or not, but they are so. So the chitta arpita to the vikalpa, then rajaswala, then asannishta, then indriya paridhavati. These are all the things we are. Such person, instead of dharma, you will have adharma in life. Instead of jnanam, you will be always in the ajnana, taking the word as real. So to Vairagya Aishwarya Jaga, in the Vairagya you will have Ragadvesha, in the Aishwarya you will have the slavery, bondage, laborness. Ishvara means controller, ruler, governed. Opposite of this is just a slave only. We are all that at this level. So this is the crucial topic of 5-6 slokas. Whether in Mandukya, what we are studying nowadays, in Yuddha, today we will see Lakshmana kill Indrajit, will say. In Telugu, the great mantra of the Shiva. Here in Bhagavata, this most important topic of Jnana Bhakti. These are the most important things in our life's spiritual journey. We are at a very crucial time. As regard God's grace concerned in the form of giving us these knowledges. Especially those who are regular, to them I am addressing. Non-regular, they come for time pass whenever they have. I'll have so much regard to them as much they have to my classes. If they don't have, I also don't have. But to you, the 5-6 of you regular, feel that inside. And then let us become more deep, intense, at least have intention. Efforts may not be sufficient with our today's capacities, but intention is free, no? I can have intention that let me thoroughly understand, let me thoroughly live this life of spirituality, let me experience the glimpses of spirituality in this life. That intention to उसका कोई कीमत तो नहीं होता, उसको बढ़ाओ. Then whatever is possible you can do, and the possibilities increase also of doing. For us, this is the most crucial thing. That way let us take. Now, these four are defined. What is dharma? Mad bhakti krut proktaha. Means, dharma means recognizing our vyavaharika identity and following all the dharmas of the varna ashrama, but mad bhakti krut, in which the bhakti is involved. In what way? All these dharmas regarding with respect to my own varna ashrama, I have to do because I am put here by the Lord, and I will do it to please Him. That's called a dharma. So here mad bhakti krut dharma eva dharma iti prokta. That we have to add. A question should come: why I am like this, and why this varna ashrama vyavastha, and why should I do? Only answer is because the Lord appointed me here, and it pleases Him. Then this dharma of varnashrama has become bhakti. Mad bhakti krut prokta. And why He made us like this and sent is again, though it is for His work, but in that our own benefit is there. Like whenever I am employed, with me being there an employee, I am helping the organization. In turn, I am getting my salary also, security also. It's mutual. Parasparam bhavayanta. So when we follow the dharma, we are adding to the beauty of the world created by the Lord. Therefore, do it, it pleases Him. When we please Him that way by doing, He in turn helps us in our own evolution. And that sweetness of bhakti, if it is not brought in the dharma, sometimes we get bored. Sometimes we feel heavy. Sometimes we try to compromise. But we have that sweetness of the bhakti added, means this is my dharma I am doing to please my dearest Lord. Then the less chances of going away of the track, out of the track. Secondly, the karma will become bhakti only. The work becomes worship when we bring that element called Bhagavan. So dharma mad bhakti krut proktaha. Mad bhakti krut dharma eva dharma. Clear? Mad bhakti krut dharma. Means you are fulfilling your duties because you are a part of total. That total loves when you do it so, and that's why we are doing. So that one can do only when he accepts the presence of the Lord, accepts His intelligence, accepts His entire plan of things around it, and accepts his own role and performs. Is it not? It's a beautiful thing, is it not? At home you are there. When you have the bhakti to the head of the family, when you are in an organization, bhakti to the head of the organization. Head is important, organization is secondary. But the importance given to the head is expressed through working for the organization. Is it not? Dharmaha mad bhakti krut prokta. Like I am a Swami here doing my satsangas. This is my dharma. Mad Bhakti Krutpat here, this I do for pleasing the entire Rishi Parampara, Guru Parampara, and the Shruti Mata, and the Parameshwara, the Lord, who has expressed in the form of the Shruti. In that Parampara comes immediately our Gurudev. So for his sake we do, his sake, their sake we do. Then what happened? This becomes a beautiful devotional doing. So करना भी धर्म है, भगवान के लिए करना भी धर्म है, भगवान को अर्पण करना धर्म है. जब ऐसा करोगे तो यू आर ए भक्त फ्रॉम धर्म. वी हैव प्रमोटेड टू नेक्स्ट लेवल. धर्मो मद भक्ति कृत प्रोक्तः. Now what is Jnanam, sir? I'll not give you 2000 definitions. Only one. Eka Atma Darshanam. Oh, Eka Atma Darshanam. Is it not? Eka Atma Darshanam. There are no two. Everyone has Anatma and Atma in them. In them, they take Anatma as Atma. First, that discrimination has to be done and accepted. Atma as Anatma and Atma as Atma. In the vision of Atma, the Anatma goes away because they cannot stay together. Yeah. So this Atma which is discovered in everyone are not two, one. Here the darshanam is experience. Experiencing that in and through or behind every expressions of Nama Rupa, the substratum is one now. And that is me. The one substratum is me. Behind all gold ornaments, I am one gold. This I am one gold is not an emotion, not a compulsion, not a zabardasti. It's a fact because there are no two things are called two golds and there's no other thing called as other than the gold. वहाँ कोई ego नहीं है वो. Remember that when I say the Atma behind everything is one without second and that is me, this that is me is for liberating myself from my identity with the Anatma Jiva Bhava. Other than that, that is me is not an ego. That is not a claiming. It is the way. There is no other way to say it so. ध्यान से सुनो, नहीं तो वहां भी फंस जाते हैं लोग. मैं आत्मा हूं, तुम आत्मा नहीं हो. तुमने साधना नहीं की. Not that way. Sajnanam cha eka atma darshanam. देखो how much sacrifice we have to do for that. Every aspects where the anekata is established, we have to drop. We can't drop our dehatadhatma only. Then how can we drop our individuality, which is called Jiva Bhava, to reach to our own Atma? Are we ready for it? If we try, it's beautiful. And that is the Jnana. Ekatma Darshanam. Now, this is a philosophy which is a fact and truth which will ultimately prevail, as I was saying yesterday. What is the single common solution for all the national, international cosmic problems? We said yesterday, it is only developing the vision of one without second truth or reality. That it has to be promoted. All the Shastras which talk about that alone have to be promoted. All the logics, all the practices. When that is promoted, one self only appearing as so many, there is no actual difference or differentiation. Only in the differences there are fears, there are quarrels, there are fightings, etc. नहीं तो कहाँ प्रॉब्लम है दोस्तों? What a beautiful life it is it not? Hmm? ज्ञानम च एकात्म दर्शनम. So, in this one or two things I'll add today because an endless subject. Okay, don't worry about others' realization. First, you realize. Clear? First, you discover that one without second self. Then live that. In the living like that itself, okay, the expression from us would be such, will be such that others also get inspired and they also try to come to that Ekatma path. First, you mind your own sadhana. Let us mind our own sadhana. Ekatma darshana. एंड स्ट्रगल जिद्दी हो जाना है कि मुझे कुछ भी त्याग करके एक आत्मा का अनुभव करनी है. And that starts again with the grossest level. Gross level, everywhere in this world, oneness is prevailing. From Deha Drushti, all Dehas are made by same Panchamahabhuta. From the Antakarana Drushti, every Antakarana is same Raga, Dvesha, Kama, Krodha. Little difference may be there ki at this time in this jiva, these are the predominant. In that, that is predominant. It will change any time. इनमें वो predominant होएगा, उसमें ये predominant हो जाएगा. But otherwise, stuff is same. And everybody have same faculties of Manobuddhi Indriya. Everybody from the self standpoint also is one. In this way, we have to go on seeing one in spite of many obscene. We have to insist to see the oneness. Anything which differentiates, we have to drop. That's what Ekatma Darshan. Everywhere. And at the spiritual level, every experience has a triputi. But I have one conscious self which is permeating all the trio. Experiencer, experienced, and experiencing. These are the three. Isn't it? Let's say I have tasted a sweet. So the tasting sweet is experience. Sweet is the experience of do. I have experienced it. I am the experiencer. Bhokta, bhogya, and bhoga. Bhogya is the object of enjoyment. Bhoga is enjoyment. Bhokta is I am. So in all the three, I am one common denominator. Without me, they are not there. Extended it in entire Jagarat, Swapna, Sushupti, I am one Purusha. Practice करना पड़ता है till it becomes natural that the conscious entity I am in me only these three avasthas are coming and going. One. So anywhere, if you develop that knack of seeing one, we are the most safest zone. Wonderful it is. That's called Jnanam. Jnanam is first Ekadarshanam, then Atmadarshanam, then Eka Atmadarshanam. Ekadarshanam drops all the outer differences and quarrels. Atmadarshanam should take us to actual self behind. Eka Atmadarshanam is that self is one without second, and Ekatma means what? एक आत्मा ही है, उसके अलावा कुछ भी नहीं है, कुछ है तो अनात्मा है, वो अनरियल है. Like एक रज्जु दर्शनम. What is the meaning of एक रज्जु दर्शनम? There are no two rajjus, that is one meaning. Second is, there is no thing other than the rajju called as sarpa or the garland, etc. If at all it is seen, it is you have not realized the Atmas Vastu, Eka Vastu. We are still dreaming and taking the dream as real. You are taking unreal snake as real, imaginary snake as real. So come to this understanding first. Acceptance is understand or not. कि है तो एक ही परमात्मा है, only one self. If at all, only anything other than the self is all illusion only, imagination only, projection only, unreal only. Blindly hold on to this thought. Though it is blindly held, but it is a truth actually, it will protect you. Ekatma darshan. No, it calls for, as I am saying, all the Samadhamadi sadhanas. That is why that Yamaniyama, Shamadhamadi, regarding that also, Uddhavaji asked the Lord for a clarity's sake. He has studied many places. He heard also. But from the mouth of the Lord, when he heard what is Jnana, what is Vairagya, what is Bhakti, he wanted to know that to achieve to these heights of spiritual realization, the minimum qualifications at the Vyavahara and mind level are the Yamadamadi, Yavanimadi, Shamadamadi. तो वो भी भगवान से ही पूछ रहे हो. That's how he made this 19वां chapter as so complete that through the next topic, question and answer, we become qualified with the qualification of what is said in the earlier two topics of Jnana and Bhakti. When we practice, we get to that experience of Mukti. It's a very sweet chapter. It's a complete chapter. So, dharma mad bhakti krut proktaha jnanam ekatma darshanam. हो गया? The third one is what? Guneshu asangaha vairagyam. Guneshu asangaha vairagyam. Guneshu Asangha Vairagya. So, Guna means all the three gunas and everything manifests of three gunas. Remember, everything is manifestation of three gunas. Three gunas are manifested from the Maya. Maya namak cheez from Paramatma standpoint nahi hai. Therefore, how can you have Asanga to them? These two lines of Mandukya. Maya jayate sarvam, samaya na vidyate. Sacha maya na vidyate. Remember these two lines? Maya sarvam vidyate, sacha maya na vidyate. Only these two have told. Everything is out of Maya manifested. Maya itself is not there. What is there is Paramatma. Therefore, Guneshu Asangaha Vairagya. This Vairagya toward the all gunas born out of the highest level of wisdom. Not because we get kicked by the world and we have temporary Vairagyas. They are called Prasuti Vairagyas, Smashana Vairagya. No, they are all not all the time. Apad Vairagya. फिर वो सिचुएशन चला आने के बाद अगेन वी हैव सेम डिजायर्स एंड ऑल हियर द vairagya is born out of the factual realization that they all have come from Maya is unreal, Paramatma alone is real. And remember it, like when you know a person is not good or a cheat, is not good, is a cheat, you can never have faith or love in him throughout life, how much ever you try. होगा एक बार टूट गया दिल टूट गया. In the same way, once you discover that the world is unreal, even if the entire world comes in front of you, you will say you are unreal, I don't want. That is a height at which level both Prahlada and Nachiketa are there. One is the greatest example of Jnana Marga, Nachiketa. Another is greatest example of Bhakti Marga. And both 5 साल के बच्चे. Same Jnana and Vairagya, Arjuna expressed in Gita in first chapter. Seeing that Bhagavan found him to be fit student. Arjuna expressed that desire to know and detachment from the world. Kim bhogena jivitena vakyam, he said. Then yasreya syat nishchitam bruhi. Therefore, essence of Prahlada's bhakti of Bhagavata, essence of Nachiketa's jnana of Katha, Upanishad, both of them Bhagavan gave to Arjuna, and Arjuna, like all sincere seekers, through Bhagavad Gita. Guneshu asangaha vairagya. Beautiful. These are the practices to be done. Again, same example I'll give you. You want to be healthy, no diabetes, no eat sweet. Sweets are kept in front, tempted by somebody. They say, आपके लिए बनाया हूँ या ये जो है ना भगवान के लिए अर्पण किया. What you have to understand is, it is harmful to my body. If I take little, they will offer more. And if I become habituated to taking, I keep on taking. Therefore, how to stop all the drama? At the very first level only, you have to reject it. In the same way, with the example of diabetes disease, which we talked, example, reality maybe the world is unreal. Therefore, if you run behind it, it will give you the bondage called dukkha. So, what to do? Don't give it a chance. Asangaha. Secondly, what is promised out of the worldly involvements? Promised by nobody, by you only. Is Ananda. You are already Ananda Yukta inside. Yourself is Ananda Swarupa. When you have discovered the real original Ananda, the one who has got the capacity to buy the original diamonds and put in all his the rings as well as whatever the necklace, why should he go for the duplicate ones? देखो, see the Jnani says, I have Ananda Swarupa. How can I go for reflected Ananda through these guna expressed objects of the world? On the name of giving me sukha through sweetness, this sweet meat is only destroying my vital organs. How can I be cheated? By my ignorance, not by the sweet or the sweet giver. I am no more ignorant, Baba. I want to be healthy and I am suffering because of diabetes. So I have to avoid that. So how can anybody cheat? If somebody gets cheated by eating more sugar, means what? He is not interested in the health or he is not convinced about the advice of the doctor. Hmm? Same way. The Bhavaroga, the doctor is Guru and Shastra. We are not convinced by what Guru Shastra says. Then only we take the risk of eating the sweets of the world and get all our vitalities destroyed. The mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankara, indriya, all of them are misused, and abused and destroyed, and they only become cause of all our suffering. It's a big subject. Oh yeah. So, Guneshu Asangha Vairagyam, the fourth one, Aishwaryam cha Anima Adaya. Anima, Maghima, all these are the Aishwaryas. They'll come to him and he will use them only, not for his own personal propitiation, not to misguide the people in the materialistic things. Mm. No problem. For it. So, such a person who has got the Aishwarya of the Ashtasiddhis, he will not misuse them for his own personal gratifications, nor he will misuse them in misguiding the people in materialism. Even if some people use those siddhis to fulfill the requirements of the beings in the beginning, but finally they guide all of them only to the spiritual. Some miracle gurus are there. In that also, they got the siddhis through various yoga sadhana, and if they themselves are not the experiences of the truth, such siddhis they use for their own personal. They are all tantric, mantric, all these people. But among the great gurus also, there are some siddha purushas. They, through those siddhi, help the people. Physical problems, dur karne mein, financial problem. Then they get faith in that guru. Then the guru tells, beta, ये तो मैं झलक या सैंपल के लिए आपको हेल्प किया, but the actual thing is none of these are real. Real is Paramatma. Then the gurus like Gurudev, they have all siddhis, but they don't use them. They straight away says, the ultimate siddhi is knowing the truth, that is achieved through Shastra. I'll go on teaching Shastra. So through the miracle siddhi gurus, that guru may have 10 lakh students. And this guru will have only 10 students. And yet he will follow this only. Because to the 10 students, he is directly guiding them for the final liberation. Among those 10 lakhs, 10 only will come for the tattva to that guru. These are all risk involved. Mutual fund जोखिमों से होता है इस तरह से. Like nowadays on the name of modernization, all spiritual activities are taking modern shape. So only the modernization liking people will go there. And out of them, only 10% will be genuine again. All other will, when you stop that, they won't go. It's only taking risk again. There's involvement of the entertainment element. There's also chance taking of some entertainment involved spirituality. Then the master, the Gurudev, they don't believe in it. Siddha Tattva hai. This is what it is. Understanding, change your life, contemplate, know it. बाकी सब नाटक क्यों? Rutam Satyam. Anyway, that will come. 4 are told. Dharma Mad Bhakti Krutpoktaha, Jnanam Sa Eka Atmadarshanam, Gunesha Sangha Vairagyam, Aishwaryam Cha Animadaya. This is how the Jnana Bhakti topics have concluded in 11th Skandha 19th chapter, as taught by Krishna to Uddhavji. And these are the things like any medicine prescription cares. When doctor says you have to go home and again write down all of them, is it not? तो यू हैव टू बाय दैट मेडिसिन देन वो जो कागज पे लिखा है ये 3 बार ये 2 बार ये 1 बार समझना पड़ता है देन यू हैव टू पुट दोज मेडिसिन इन प्रॉपर प्लेस पुट योर अलार्म और आस्क समबडी टू रिमाइंड यू टू टेक इट in the same way for the bhava roga to get healthy what is medicine bhagwan gave in these two topics it is we who have to thoroughly study that prescription and get all the medicines and follow the pathyam and apathyam. Lord cannot do anything for it. Today I'll tell you $1 million point which was said 100 times already. Ki in spirituality, nothing happens just like that. If it happens, why in every Shastra, all the Guru and Avatara keep on telling us do. हर जगह करो ही कर रहे हैं लेकिन बिना किए कुछ मिलता है इज देयर एनीवेयर सेड we don't understand this first basic fact we say if some convenient time will come and something will happen automatically this called is the cheating by the mind but mind somehow spend the present time in the materialistic world for that all the spirituality you agree but postpone it बाद में or just say that let the time come this is what we cheat and what happens देखते देखते मर ही जाएंगे हम actually little better work we are doing in the form of satsanga but that also cheating only because we're not sitting for dhyana and meditation we are thinking that some time will come where we go for meditation then we'll realize this is also self cheating in fact give up everything whatever data required for meditation is already gained by us that is more than sufficient see that powerful maya we know that we are in maya still we don't come out of it that is called maya's power self deceit self cheating nobody will come nobody will do we only have to do right now only that's called yadahareva virajet tadahareva pravrajeta now Uddhavji is asking questions what are the questions we will see simple in 2 minutes then maybe one answer of it if possible Uddhava vacha so here says he is addressing Lord with 3 words Harikarshana Krishna and Prabhu Harikarshana means the destroyer of the enemies outer and inner so that's the slokana yamaha kat vidha proktaha niyamo varikarshana kashavah kodamah krishna titiksha ka titiksha dhruti prabho so arikarshana the one who destroys the enemies second again krishna also means karshana the one who attracts us toward the spiritual and noble and greatest third while we are in this good path changer from the bad to the good he will go on giving us power energy to follow that path in such a way that we reach the ultimate goal so to make us reach that ultimate goal the power required is supplies the convenience required is supplies so therefore he is prabhu prabhu means sarva samartha so by using these words as addressing to krishna Uddhava in fact in that only putting his pleading or prayer to God, clearly knowing what he needs. First, शत्रुओं को निकाल दो, non-belief, है ना, disliking, insincerity, है ना, devaluing spirituality. They're all shatrus. काम क्रोध आदि तो एनीवे है, मटेरियलिज्म एंड ऑल. पहले उन शत्रुओं को निकालो. I don't like guru or shastra or satsang or spirituality or God. That itself is shatru. हरिकर्षण. I like this word. हरिकर्षण. Yes, जो हमारे अंदर शत्रुएं हैं उनको भगवान प्लीज भगा दो. अश्रद्धा is the shatru. Laziness, tamoguna is shatru. Inability to practice and rise above the bondage of upadhis is a shatru. भगवान इनको निकालो. Then Krishna, attract me toward the truth. Let me be attracted toward the self, to the spirituality. That also again, at one level, it is His grace only. नहीं तो नहीं होता है. See, when it comes to the worldly indulgences, enjoyments, how actively, dynamically we involve. चाव से. And it comes spirituality is so dry under some compulsion. In fact, those earlier examples where things are binding things, उसको रोते रोते करना है. Spirituality liberates us, so इसको हंसते हंसते करना है. But somehow little punya, little push by the guru that we do jabardasti. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. Krishna means what? Every spiritual sadhana should be done with so much of inspiration and joy. It's like my commitment of today's puja is over and I must long for the next day to come very soon so that again I do the puja. So to the japa, so to the swadhyaya, so to the classes. I told you the other day, I'm repeating it. For me now, a little bit. I can't say full addiction, but a good habit has formed. I always look for morning 10 a.m., evening 6 p.m. Because I'm on the dais, we are split with all the Guru Muni yesterday. Lord Shiva also started there to bless us. कि हम बैठे हो तो what is security here? What is safety? That the mind is only on the truth, only on the Shastra, only on Bhagavan, only on sadhana, only on Guru. ये स्वर्ग है. Is it not? This is called Bhagavad Kripa. Karshana. Now, this is at little grosser level. We have to ask the Lord, Lord, of that dais also, let me only be reveling in you. And to some of you also, if you see from last 1 year, कहीं जाने का नहीं, किसी से मिलने का नहीं, सिर्फ सत्संग करना, whatever little sadhana you have to do, and for living, water, cooking, eating, sleeping, and little maybe entertainment. This Bhagavan is protecting us. Slowly, steadily. Because as much the patient has to be safe while getting operated, so much doctor has to be careful while operating. So we are patients, doctor is guru or God, they also carefully only operate on us. जल्दबाजी जबरदस्ती नहीं करते. So धीरे धीरे they are doing. So karshana. This one prayer, Bhagavan, let me be attracted to my sadhana, to my upasanas, to all my japa dhyana. Let it be not mere mechanical. Everything when I do Om Namah Shivaya or Om Namo Narayan or Om Ashtotras Puja, let me not do it in like a meditation where I offer myself in that activity of sadhana completely. Every time. आज मैं ऐसे जप ध्यान में बैठूंगा कि I forget the world, my mind and myself also. Oh Lord, bless me in this way. That's the meaning of Karshana. I'm just telling. And Prabho means Sarva Samartha. Never underestimate the power capacity of Bhagavan, please. If that underestimation of God comes, then nobody will help you. That word, pata nahi, pata nahi, pata nahi. should be followed by फिर भी. Don't say पता नहीं तो क्या फिर क्या. मतलब पता नहीं भगवान आएंगे कि नहीं, पता नहीं भगवान सुनेंगे नहीं, पता नहीं भगवान मुझे इस मुश्किल घड़ी से पार करेंगे कि नहीं. जो पता नहीं है तो रोने की जगह है फेथ करो ना. बट फिर भी you understand that Prabhu, my Guru, my Lord, my Shastra, my Sanatan Dharma, my Guru Parampara are true, are final, and are Prabhu Sarvasamartha, that they will definitely pull me out of bondages. That is the beauty. Very important this one. We'll discuss a little more tomorrow. Then with these three words of address, what Uddhavaji asked in the first question, Yamaha Katividaha. How many are the sadhanas in the subheading called Yamaha? Yoga Bhasha, Yama Niyama and all. Then Niyamahava, how many Niyama sadhanas are there? Oh, Harikarshana, destroyer of the enemies. Then Kaha Shamaha. See, Yama Niyama are Yoga Prashna, Yoga sadhanas. Shamadama are Vedanta. Both same only. Kaha Shamaha, what is Shamaha? Kaha Damaha, what is Damaha? Krishna, the attractor. Ka titiksha, what is titiksha? And what is dhruti? And every word which Uddhavas, Bhagavan gives such a simple, complete, direct answer. And I tell you, it will be such a mind blowing, but so beautiful, simple, direct, complete answers. For example, dhruti. We'll say that. He says, Jiho pasta jayo dhruti. If you can conquer the Jihva and Upastha, you have achieved dhruti. Everything comes in that. If those two are not controlled, you never have control, you have never done dhruti. Some of the definitions you tell you, ki Bhagavan says, what is murkhata? What is dukkham? See, the definition of dukkha, he gives a kama sukha apeksha. Expecting sukha from the kamya vastu, object of world, through desire, itself he defines as dukkha. No, these each of explanation Bhagavan which gives very direct, very straight, very high level. You can't improve upon these answers given by Krishna because they are the highly improved editions. The latest edition, improvement. Nothing greater than we can be than this. ठीक है कल देखिए सर्वं कृष्णार्पण ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय थैंक यू वेट फॉर इंग्लिश हिंदी टॉक वाल्मीकि रामायण it is all worked along with Lakshman ji and kill Indrajit today. Sorry.